What is up everyone, Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today we're going to take a look at the next main series banner and the new Rearmed hero, which we already know about because she is in the Tempest Trial, the ruler of nothingness, the ruler of nihility, dressed up for the Met Gala. I'm only going to say her name once because it's a bit of a weird name to say. Ginnungagap. Yeah, so here she is, the new OC as a Dagger Cavalier, and she brings the Arcane Void as the new Arcane Dagger. So I think she had a different skill set in the Tempest Trial, so her skill set here has obviously changed. She did not have the PRFB, if I remember correctly, and I also don't remember her stat spread, but yeah, Arcane Void, this gives you -1 special cooldown to start a combat. If you're alive, you grant +5 to all your stats, and also a further -X debuff on the foe, X equaling the highest penalty on each stat between target and foes within 2 spaces of target. And also you make a guaranteed follow-up attack and special charge +1 per attack. So this is a really good and solid dagger because it gives pretty much a lot of things the daggers want. You give the special charges because that helps with lethality triggers, and lethality is the pretty much premium special for any kind of dagger unit. So yeah, that helps. And then you also have further stats along with the +5 to all stats. So this dagger has pretty much way better stats, or at least potentially better stats than most other arcane weapons, because this can help you in the stat swing with -X debuff on the foe, and this works well with daggers that debuff the foes anyway. So Arcane Void is really simple, but it's really effective, I think. So yeah, that is Arcane Void. I'm tempted to give this to my Summer Linde, honestly. This would be fun to use on her. And then she also comes with Fire Flood Boost 3, which is a bit of an interesting skill because I feel like, you know, Ruler of Nothingness here is kind of an initiator, or at least it seems like it, with her weapon and skill set. And this skill, while it does work in the player phase, it's more of a defensive skill. So I don't know, maybe I don't remember her stat spread, but Fire Flood Boost 3 is interesting. It's kind of like a dual phase stance skill with a HP threshold, and it's good for sure. I'm glad that it's released on another unit. It's just a bit of an odd choice in my opinion, or at least it feels weird because it's only been on Summer Ymir. So we finally have a second unit with it. So that is her A skill. And the B skill is the PRF, Ruler of Nihility. This is a really strong B skill. At start of turn, inflicts attack defense -7, discord status, and also status preventing counterattacks on nearest foes within 5 spaces of unit and foes within 2 spaces of those foes through their next action. So let's start with discord status. So discord status, if you don't remember, basically punishes you for having more allies within 2 spaces of you. So this works as a really good anti-meta thing because most units, or a lot of units, want to be near their allies, especially if you're using form skills. So Discord punishes that by debuffing them. And also flash status is crazy because flash status is annoying. We've seen it on Duo Elise, and it just prevents your tanks and your units from just counterattacking, especially for like distant counter units and of course save tanks. This is very annoying, and the only way to really avoid this is either be very far away, because 5 spaces is a massive range, or you have no counter disrupt. So yeah, discord status has only been on like 2 other units in the game. I think it's Summer, Shamir, and Kemph, I believe. I could be wrong, but those are the only 2 I can think of right now. So the fact that Ruler of Nothingness has this in the B skill is very cool. And then also, if the foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, or any kind of penalty is active, you inflict attack defense -5, and you also can trigger, you can grant special cooldown count -1 if your units attack and trigger unit special before units first attack during combat. So I think this is the same kind of ability that we've seen on like Ramamon, where he kind of does like the reverse version of a scout skill where he can accelerate his cooldown during combat. So that's really strong, along the fact that, you know, she does come with lethality. So Ruler of Nihility is kind of like, you know, also what Wind Tribe Cloud does, where he can kind of cheat and trigger special a lot easier. So yeah, she's no joke for sure. I mean, obviously she's going to be foddered for this weapon, but Ruler of Nihility makes her really strong and definitely makes her stand out when it comes to dagger units. And then Fatal Smoke 4 is the skill here that I'm probably most excited for besides the Arcane Dagger, because this is a middle finger to all the miracle effects in the game, all the miracle cheese, all the miracle shenanigans, or at least most of the miracle shenanigans. So it stops Brave Seliph, it stops Fallen Maria, of course, it stops Ascended Air, it stops Ascended Celica. So for me, it's especially good because it stops Brave Seliph. I don't really have trouble with the other miracle units because I Winter Marth, but for Brave Seliph, he's just so obnoxious, and even if he's not as common as he used to be, he's still a really good unit that can initiate and just win and cheat a lot of matchups that he otherwise wouldn't win if he didn't have that miracle. So this skill stops those weapons or skills that have miracle effects built in. So not only can they not heal, which is something Brave Self likes to do, you also stop them from miracles. So yeah, this Fatal Smoke 4, I like what they did with it. I was wondering what they would do with it, and they didn't miss. So Fatal Smoke 4, I'm not sure how common it will be, but this is a nice skill for sure. For, you know, dagger units, of course, because it synergizes with the debuffs they give, so you can just have more value whenever you do go into combat. So Fatal Smoke 4 is very strong, and I like what they did with it, stopping miracle effects. Obviously, it's still a little bit niche because miracle effects, while they are really annoying and strong, like not every unit has it. And there is stuff like Fallen Maria, but even before that, we had counters to her with like a feud skill. Even though that was more niche, Fatal Smoke is more applicable, I guess. I'm just happy that this skill is a thing now to counter all kinds of miracle stuff, because we never really had a direct counter to it until now. So that is the Ruler of Nothingness. Definitely a very interesting unit and very strong with some really good skills, and I do like the Arcane Dagger. So here she is, triggering lethality. And now we move on to the actual Fire Emblem 7 units that are actually from the main series, of course. And the first unit is Isadora, a fan favorite from Fire Emblem 7, the lover of Harken, based off of Midia and Astrum, which is, you know, I wish Midia would get into the game because Astrum was added, but Midia was not. So I'm glad that Isadora is added here with Harken, which we'll see him later or after this. But yeah, this is her weapon. Guarding Lance gives -1 cooldown, and a rally or movement assist skill is used by unit or target's unit, grants attack speed, defense +6, bonus doubler, and foe penalty doubler to unit and target ally or unit and targeting allies for 1 turn. And that's a really strong effect because with just a simple assist, you grant bonus doubler and foe penalty doubler to unit and target ally, so that's really strong. And then if unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants +5 to all stats, no follow-up, and you also reduce damage from the foe's first attack by 40%. So this weapon is very strong, very potent for just 1 click of doing reposition or any kind of assist, because you get those 2 effects along with the snag skill that she comes from the beast skill that also can inflict sabotage. So you're basically inflicting 3 kind of status effects to cripple the opponent, so that's really good, along with no follow-up built into the lance, so you don't have to run something like Flow Guard or Flow Force or something, so that's really strong. And then she comes with attack speed clash in the A skill. So I like what they did with Isadora, you know, kind of making her stand out when it comes to a Lance Cavalier, because most Lance Cavaliers are just very offensively oriented. I mean, some of them are unique, like Noah, and Isadora joins that club where she can support her allies as well. So I like what they did with her, and that is Isadora. Yeah, definitely looking forward to whenever Midia drops, because Isadora is based off Midia. And now we have her lover Harken. Clean art, here he is, and I like what they did with his weapon. He's actually pretty unique as well when it comes to Sword of Entries. Troubled Warrior, yeah, his art's epic. Sword of Entry, of course, as expected. And Troubling Blade is his weapon, so this gives him -1 cooldown and a brave effect in both phases. At start of combat, if he's alive, grants +5 to all stats and reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 40%, which is going to help him obviously live longer. And then also grants special cooldown charge +1 per attack, so that's really good for stuff like Vital Astra, Bonfire, like his special is here. So this weapon's actually kind of similar to Male Sheds now that I think about it. And then also, the last part, for each foe within 4 spaces of unit, Harken can move to any space or any of the nearest spaces adjacent to that foe. So this is a really unique effect. I mean, obviously we've seen teleportation, but not like this, or at least in this specific wording. So for each foe within 4 spaces of unit can move to any of the nearest spaces adjacent to that foe, unless the space is impassable terrain, of course. So this is nice because not only is he strong in combat with the dual phase brave, but he also can move to those foes, and that's something that really Sword of Entries don't really get to do much, or at least I can't think of any Sword of Entry that has this built into the weapon. So that is Troubling Blade. I like what they do with Harken because, of course, Sword of Entries are the most saturated class type in the game, so making them more unique or giving them something that will make them stand out is going to help as always. So that is his weapon: Bonfire, Attack, Defense, Clash 4, and Brash Assault 4. So it looks like he's going to be more of a slower unit, maybe kind of a middling speed stat, maybe kind of low on the lower side, but either way, I like what they do with the weapon. Dual phase brave with high attack, high defense, and Brash Assault 4, which is a good skill that we've seen on Summer Shamir. So lots of damage reduction, lots of bulk, and that is Harken. Really cool. I like what they did with both Harken and Isadora. I can only hope that Midia gets something good as well, because she's also probably going to be a Lance Cavalier. And now we come to the Attuned hero, I guess the star of the show, kind of. Yeah, attuned hero. I mean, look, I like Nino. I like Nino a lot. She's one of the best FE7 characters. Fang's heart. She's adorable, right? But I wish it wasn't Nino. I wish the attuned hero was someone else, because like she's wearing Jafar's clothing, which is adorable. But why not just make it Jafar? I wish it was just him, because Jafar only has like one alt and it's very mediocre. So kind of wish it was Jafar or less popular characters or other characters that could really use an alt that don't have any, like Matthew or Lloyd. You know, Lloyd especially, because everyone hates his art, or most people do. So yeah, like I said, I like Nino, but I just wish it was someone else. Especially the fact that Nino already got an alt this year with the Kadean banner, and that alt is kind of similar to this one, and we'll see why. But yeah. Anyways, that's Nino. Green Dagger Infantry as the attuned hero this banner, and she has a really good skill set, really strong skill set, as expected. Gondol is her weapon. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I'm just going to say it like that. -1 cooldown to start a turn. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6 to unit, and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. So she's taking a page from Brave Marth with Shining Emblem and Legendary Marth, just buffing them. But not only does she buff attack, but she also buffs speed. So kind of jealous there. And also, if unit initiates combat or foe's range equals 2, grants attack speed +5 to unit, and grants bonus to unit's attack equal to X, and speed defense res equal to 50% of X, X equaling the highest total of bonuses among unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit. So a lot of weapons in FE, or a good amount of units, good amount of weapons, sorry, work off the foe's buffs, or not the foe's buffs, the allies buff. So it's like, you know, bonus number 4, for example. So this weapon is kind of like that, where it works like bonus number 4, and the fact that she buffs her allies, you know, is very Brave Marth-esque, because that's what Brave Marth does. He wants to be as strong as possible, so he gets stronger when his allies get stronger, and Nino is no exception here. She does kind of the same thing, you know, because she can buff the allies without Shining Emblem. It's just built into the weapon. And then she also gets damage reduction on both strikes, just like Genesis Falchion, and then she also gets HP restoration, just like Genesis Falchion, but she's a dagger unit. So yeah, that is her weapon, very Brave Marth-esque, and it's very strong. So Draconic Aura is her special. Flash Sparrow is her A skill, which is great to see because it was only on Elchris before. Speed Defense Tempo 4 along with Flash Sparrow is just going to make the special pretty much guaranteed to trigger, because you have the +1 charge as long as you're faster, which is not going to be very hard for Nino, and you also have no guard built in, and also you have damage reduction. So very, very strong and potent, and you can trigger your special pretty easily. So those are her A and B skills, and then she also comes with the C skill, which we're going to see in just a second. Fanged Ties. This is her PRFC skill at the start of turn. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants the unit can move 1 extra space. So this is similar, just like her Kadean version, that can also move an extra space. And you also get Canto for 1 turn. So yeah, she's a really, really good dagger unit that can not only trigger specials, get very, very strong. She can also have Canto and move 1 extra space. So she's a huge threat. And then also grants the following effect on unit based on the value of unit's special cooldown count if it's at maximum value. Grants -2 cooldown, and if it's at the maximum value -1, you grant special cooldown count -1. So this is essentially times pulse 5 or something, just a way better times pulse with extra movement, with Canto. So yeah, Nino is no joke. Definitely made her the star of the banner in terms of power, I think. So yeah, and then her Echo skill, her attuned skill, the X skill, Fleeting Echo. If unit initiates combat, grants a measly speed +2 to unit and reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 30%. So the speed buff is nothing huge. It's definitely not that big, but I mean, extra speed never hurt anybody. So yeah, that can help. But the 30% damage reduction is definitely the draw of the skill if you do get this. So Fleeting Echo is going to be nice for a lot of units, because this gives them more survivability. You know, you don't really have to run Remote Sparrow. Obviously, that does stack with it. So there's that. But yeah, Fleeting Echo definitely makes... or could spice up your builds a bit. So that is attuned Nino. I like Nino a lot, but like I said, I wish it was someone else. But hey, what can you do? They usually just go for the more popular characters, and you know, just Nino has so many alts already. I just wish it was Jafar, Lloyd, or Matthew, or some other Fire Emblem 7 character that doesn't have as much as her. But hey, Nino's adorable, so I can't really hate on her. And the fact that she's wearing Jafar's clothes is very adorable. So there is the banner. Will is on there, as you can see. He's going to be the instant emote. So it's good to see him finally into the game. So yeah, there's Will. He's probably going to have, he's going to have the modern stat spread. Not sure what kind of bow he's going to have, but yeah, that's Will. So good to see him. And then the GHB unit is going to be Fargus, who is the infamous pirate from Fire Emblem 7. And his art is already out if you've seen it, drawn by Ape. Really, really good art. And I hope he has a PRF. I hope he's good. because Fargus is a pretty memorable character from Armor 7, and a pretty important one, honestly, even though he is kind of minor. But yeah, it's good to see Fargus. So I like this banner overall. I just wish it was someone else besides Nino, like I said. If it was someone else, it would have been absolutely perfect, because I love that Isadora and Harken are together. And of course, you know, Ruler of Nothingness has to be there. But the Arcane Dagger does give a lot of value to units like Jafar, as we can see right here. And there's Nino giving her boyfriend a gift. But yeah, so that is the Fire Emblem 7 banner. Let me know what you guys think down below. I may or may not summon on it, may or may not make a summoning video for it, because I do want to get that dagger for Summer Linde, but I also want to save orbs because the Christmas banners are coming up. But as I said before, FE never lets me save anymore, so I'm kind of in a dilemma. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.